Welcome back to another Wildcard tutorial video. In today's video, we're going to be going over a 20 bomb that I got with Catalyst starting at Containment. So before we get into any of the tactics or strategies, let's talk about the layout of Containment first. So the first thing that you're going to notice about Containment is this big tower here in the center of the play area. This tower has two different high grounds. It has this one right here, which can be accessed from the ground through the little box right here. Oh, that's terrible. Great. And then there's this higher one right here. Can only be accessed through like an ash port or a Pathfinder zip line or just landing up here when you die, etc. This is really important to note because there are several places where people will camp out on the outside of Containment and shoot the players that are shooting inside. This is a very, very popular area, so just make sure that you're aware of line of sight of this spot when you are fighting in Containment. Another place that's really popular is right up here in this area, specifically this little tiny thing that comes out. But what a lot of players will do is they will drop over here, and then they will come out onto this little ledge, and they'll start sniping people down below. The last place that has a little bit of a sniper's advantage is this area over here. You can't see it because it's covered by the HUD right now, but there is a platform over here, and this platform gives line of sight into this area and this area here. This is looking down this way. So the reason I want to call this out is because there's a lot of folks that when they land at Containment, they don't like to fight in the middle where all the action is. They like to instead post up. They get like a sniper rifle, like a scout or a triple take, and they just post up and they shoot people that are on their way in. If that's how you have fun, great, more power to you. It's not how I roll, but that's why I want to just call that out here. Next, let's talk about the structures. There are 4 buildings in Containment. There's this one here. We have the big building here toward the south side, or is this the south side? No, this is the west side. It's over here, west side. We have this building here, and then we have one that's over here behind the tower. Now, the cool part about Containment is that each one of these areas has a place where you can fight either inside the building or just outside of the building. Starting with this first building here on the right, most players will start to fight down here in this area. This is really good to know. The second building down here, there's this area where players will fight in the open down here. For this building, there is a space underneath here, which is not shown from this perspective, but as we go through the video, you'll be able to see it, where players will fight underneath the building. And then over here, for the last building, there's an outdoor area right here that most players will start to fight at outside. Fighting in this area can also start to creep this way toward this high ground area here and right around this area here too. So just try to keep in mind that there are places that are both indoors and outdoors that you can fight at in Containment. The last thing I want to talk about in Containment are these little nooks. So each one of these 4 areas has what I call a nook. It's a small area that you can drop into that is kind of shielded from high ground players like here in the tower or over here or over here. Starting with this area, there is a nook right here. It's incredibly small, but you can actually go here and drop down to the high ground. It's like, I don't know if it's intentional, but there is a piece of geometry that's missing between the platform and the building where you can just drop down right in there. Over here, the nook is right in this area here. You can also access it from the other side, which I'll show you later in the video, but it's accessed this way. For this building, the nook is right in here, in this little tiny area right here. You can drop there. And also there is another small little place that's right underneath here. You can't see it from this perspective, but there is also a place in here that is a good place where you can reload your guns and use shield batteries. For the final building, the nook is right here on this side of the building. There is a little place where you'll see grass where you can just drop in there, and then from there you can either decide to rotate to the right or you can continue to rotate underneath, and you'll get a better view of that once we turn the camera around and we actually start to play. But that's kind of the basic layout of Containment. You got 4 buildings. Each building has a place outside where you can fight, and each area also has a little nook where you can kind of either drop into or where you can go down to find maybe a moment of peace so you can reload your guns and use some cells. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the game and we'll start learning some things. So I like to drop at this building over here. It is a little bit unpopular because there's not as much loot here, so you can generally loot up a little bit safer. Again, take that with a grain of salt because some players will follow you here, absolutely. First thing I like to do is take a look out this window and see if we see anyone that's traveling across, which I see right here. So there's an Octane there. I'm going to go ahead and push him and see if I can get my first kill. And I found a few folks that are fighting here. But already I want to pause it, and I want to talk about what's going on here. So you can see both players used their respawn. Both players used their self-revive kit, right? This guy used his, this guy used his. What I talked about in the last video is if you have a moment to breathe where you are not under duress and you can take a second, let them finish their revives because that will remove the self-revives from the game. Obviously, your priority is always to finish your kills so your knocks convert into kills. But in this case, I let both of them revive mostly intentionally. Yes, I did have to reload my guns, but I did want them to both use their revive kits so I could take them down. Okay, both my kills, 2 less revive kits. I'm going to go ahead and check that blue box because I wanted to see what was on there. And look at that. It's a 2x bruiser. I love putting this sight on the Volt. It just works really, really well. Always make sure you're checking those blue death boxes. Next, we'll go ahead and continue our rotation into the main area. Checking again for any campers, anyone that's hiding. Nope, good to go. All right, so we finished our rotation, and we're going to go back into this building. But as I was coming back into this building, I saw this player in here, and I specifically saw the gun that he had was a Bocek. I feel pretty good about pushing this. I would probably push it regardless, but the fact that he has a Bocek and I have a Volt, the P2020, makes me feel pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and push that, and this will be another kill for us here. Again, prioritizing finishing the kill. Collect the orbs, move on. Switching targets to the closer target because I thought that this was going to be a little bit more dangerous. Finish the kill, collect the orbs, go back and use a cell in a safe spot. Okay, this is that nook that I was telling you about in the beginning of the game. So it's right in here. You can drop right here, and it's kind of safe. And then right under here, there's also another little... It almost looks like a phone booth. I'm probably showing my age a little bit here. But it's this little tiny rectangle area where you can kind of get in there and hide a little bit. I think we'll see it once I jump down here to engage this Octane. Okay, prioritizing finishing the kill, again, very important, but I got third-partied here. No big deal, happens all the time. He tapped out anyway, got my kill, respawning, and moving on. So from this perspective, it's a little bit easier to see those nooks that I was talking about. This one here is a nice place to drop at if you need a little bit of cover, and then here's, again, that nook over here. The other one, you'll see, the other one that's over here, you'll see this one once we get to that area. Okay, my gun is blue already, which I'm very happy with. Win the gunfight, finish the kill, get the orbs, get into safety, let your health regen, get your shields back up. That's kind of like the thought process here. It's kind of like a cycle that you go through, right, in your mind. Like, that's how you should be thinking about this, is always prioritizing your kill, getting the orbs, and then working on your survivability. So I see players dropping in. We're going to go ahead and take a look. Hearing this player, not seeing him, trying to chase him down. Still can't find him, so now I'm going to jump down here into this area. This is where players will fight. Occasionally, if they start dropping outside, this is where the fights will take place. Found him. Okay, missed every shot. That's fine. I'm going to go chase him down. And here he is going to go up to the first battlements area of the middle's location. And we're just going to chase him down. Get the kill. Finish. Orbs. And now we're going to go on an absolute tear right here. You can see I have 7 kills, and I'm about to get 5 kills really quick. And it happens really fast, so we're going to try to go through this a little bit slow and help you understand what I did to get this flurry of kills that's coming up. So first things first, there's this player that is fighting outside. He is in the middle of all of his cover. It's a little dangerous, but I'm able to take advantage of that with some good tracking. That's one. And now, again, my priority, finish the kill. I got the kill. I need to go and finish it. That's why I'm pushing here. Okay, I turned on this guy, got the next kill, that's 2, finished the kill. These 2 players were fortunate enough to fight each other. This guy here, this dude here, and this dude here, they were actually like fighting each other, which was nice. That gave me a second to reload my guns and also let my health regen kick in too, so that was nice. Get the kill. Again, what's my priority? I sound like a broken record, but it's so important if you're trying to get those 20 kills. You have to make sure your knocks convert into kills by finishing the players off. So I forget about the other guy, and I focus on this guy right now to make sure he cannot stand back up. Collect the orbs. Get another kill, and finally this flurry ends right here because there's just too many players shooting at me, which is fine. I'm not going to get myself revive off. You rarely ever do, but that was a really good example of pushing, prioritizing what I'm thinking, and how to go about engaging in those situations. Next respawn. One thing I want to call out while we're in this perspective is this area right here, this ledge. Also want to call out this ledge and this ledge. There are these 3 big walls that are here that other POIs don't really have. These ledges can be really good. They can kind of be like a double-edged sword. You can land on top of them, and you can get some really good intel on where players are. You can even shoot players that are trying to, that are engaged in fights. You can get some good third parties. These are good sniper areas as well. This area, this ramp or this wall right here also has a cannon that will lead to way up over here. This is the other side of that cannon. So if you ever need to get out of dodge or something, you can fly up here, and vice versa. If you're ready to fight, you can come over here. This area will look down here. This one can look here and get some really good kills. This one can look here and also here, and you can get some good kills as well from these. Just don't overstay your welcome. I think the lines of sight are pretty obvious, but the most important thing is don't overstay your welcome. If you sit there forever, people are going to be like, okay, I'm done. You're not staying up there anymore. I'm going to shoot you. So don't overstay your welcome, but use those to your advantage. While we're here, I do want to talk about where to go if you don't get a gun. We didn't actually talk about that when we were looking at the original, when we were flying in. And the reason we didn't is because we didn't have the correct view, but now we kind of do. So if you have a bad jump master, or you're not quite, whatever the reason is, you don't get a gun, here is where you can go to get guns and then cycle back into containment. This area right here has guns on the inside, but it is very popular, so be careful. Also note, there is a cannon here that leads to way up here. It's a very long shot, but this is also another area where you can drop, and there's tons of shit here. There are supply bins here and here. There's supply bins underneath here and here. You have supply bins over here and over here. There's loot on the floor here, 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 here. This is a great spot to get loot, hit the cannon, and then jump in over here. Another place to get loot is this little spot right here, but this can be very populated. There is a supply bin here. There's one here, and there's also another one here. There's loot on the floor on the inside too. This area can be very good for getting loot as well. On the top floor, on this side and on this side, there's loot on the ground. There are 2 supply bins on the other side, here and here. You can't see it from this perspective, but there is also another house way over here where you can get some loot, and then you can take the zip line over here as well. That's another option for you in case you don't get a gun. The last place is this area. Now, this area is interesting. don't get a gun, this area I would approach with caution, because while there are, lots of supply bins, you got them here, you've got 2 over here, you've also got loot in this building, you've got loot in this building, there's another supply bin here, you've got loot in this area on the inside. There's also more supply bins over here on the top side. Players will just drop there and fight there like it's a hot drop. So this area in the north on the top of the screen, not always the best place to go to for loot, but it is an option in case you are running out of options. It's an option in case, whatever. Also, a couple of other areas that are really, really good. Right here, these trees here, and these trees here. They each in the center have 3, what am I drawing right now? I don't even know. They have 3 different supply bins that are in the center of this area. So this is also a good spot to go to. There's also supply bins over here. So this whole place is littered with loot. You don't necessarily have to drop into containment. You can feel comfortable going someplace else, getting loot, and then filtering into containment. Okay, not really sure where to go. I kind of had a change of heart there. There's just players everywhere. Not sure what to do. Bad drop, admittedly. But they're not all going to be perfect. This game mode is very chaotic. Lost the gunfight. Immediately tap out. We talked about that in the last episode. Immediately tap out. The habit that I have seen of players not tapping out when they die drives me absolutely nuts. Not only do I see it on opponents that I knock, but I also see it on my own teammates too. They're sitting there and I'm just watching them crawl around and I'm like, dude, I can't get to you. I can't pick you up. What are you doing? Please start your respawn timer. You get back into the action faster. I have actually been in situations where I have knocked players and then I get killed after that. I immediately tap out, which is what you should do. And then I'm coming back and the other player that I killed still hasn't tapped out. I'm like, what are you doing? Start your respawn timer. I don't understand this habit that people have picked up. It is awful and stupid and just leads to problems. So tap out when you die. By the way, my teammate here is using a 30-30. I do not recommend this gun. It is, especially with a 1X, it's just, it's not good for this mode. Okay, now we're going to show you that last little nook right here. So, what I was talking about at the start of the video, where players tend to, congregate together in this outside area out here, and then also behind the building here and underneath this building area here. This is where you'll see a lot of fighting. There's a safe little spot right under here. I say safe, but everybody knows it's there. Like, it's underneath the stairs. And if you need a moment, you might be able to get one here. So just keep that in mind. But this little nook right in here is where you can drop. And you'll see that it does kind of work. I think I'd lose the gunfight again. But as you can see, people, they put these fences up because people do like to come here. You generally get a lot of cover. And then someone behind me engages me. I thought that was pretty good spikes, but it wasn't good enough. Come down here. I get shot by 2 different players, and we die. But what do? We tap out immediately. Next life. Look, we're back already. It only takes a couple of seconds, and we can start again. One more thing before we move on to the next life. I was talking about places where you can drop if you did not get a gun. Another place, which we couldn't see from this angle, which is where we were diving in from before, is right here. There are 3 supply bins here, here, and here, and there's also a building right here that has loot on the ground. So this is also another place where you can get your loot, and then you can come in through this little tunnel and hopefully find some players that are engaging in this outdoor area. This area is very, very popular. All right, so we turned on this guy, and our priority is now to get the kill, but as much as I want the kill, I do have to defend myself because I'm getting pushed. I die. That's a bummer. That happens. 20-second respawn, and I didn't get my original kill. That's how it goes. Small note there, just to give my teammate a little bit of advice. You really do not need to aim down sight with the dual P2020s at this distance. You can see here, he zooms in. Like, he aimed down sight here. I think the zoom in is like bugged, like when you're in observer mode. It's not quite that bad, but you really don't need to ADS with this gun. It doesn't do that much, especially at this distance. So as you can see, players not tapping out. Very strange. And now you can see I changed course right away because my priorities and my objectives have changed. As I am flying in, I come down and I notice, as soon as I heard the tone, the ding, I noticed that both of my teammates are dead. They are now respawning. So now my priorities shift and they change to don't die. So now I'm going to go chill. I'm going to go to a place where I think is safe, where I can chill for just a moment. And that's going to be on top of one of these areas, I think. Yeah, on top of one of these walls that I was talking about earlier. We're just going to sit on the wall, and we're going to wait for those respawn timers to get a little bit lower. 2, 1. Okay, I'm good now. Now is when I go in. So it's just a quick, like a breath, just to make sure your team can come back. Because if you die in that case, you're eliminated. You're not getting your 20 bomb. Okay, same process. Again, get the kill, confirm it, get the orbs, reload your guns. I got bamboozled to hell right there, but didn't actually matter. All right, so in this case, we only got 2 cells off, which is okay. You're not always going to get all your cells off. But again, both of my teammates are dead. So my priority has shifted, and it is no longer to get kills. It is to survive. So I go into my building that I have locked down. I've booted up both of the doors. I have spike traps. I think I'm going to set some more. Now, that guy's flesh. I heard it. So that's why I go and I push this, because I want those orbs that he has so I can bring my teammates back. I use my brand new headphones to track him down. We get the kill, and our teammates come back anyway. But the reason I pushed him is because he was alone. I heard that he did not have armor, so I know I have a good enough advantage, and he's running away to try to heal. So if I can kill him, I can get the orbs and reduce my teammates' respawn timers. But I made that calculated decision, and I thought that the risk was worth it simply because he did not have shields. Does that mean that you're going to win every single fight like that? No, there are plenty of times when I engage players that only have half of their health bar left, and I just get one clipped and I die. So you have to make that calculated decision. You don't always have to be quite that aggressive. If it's better for you to sit back and chill and just wait for those respawn timers to go off, then do it. Play to your style. But sometimes for me, I'll make that decision, I'll make that calculation, and that's why I did that. Moving on. Gold weapons, we happy. So right there, I didn't want to jump down here. I wanted to keep pushing because you can see the other guy inside. This is what I wanted to do, is I wanted to go down this way, go into the door and push this guy. But again, I'm practicing what I preach. I didn't want to jump down, but I did because my priority is to get the kill. Okay, bad aim on my part. It does happen. I'm able to stand back up. And now I'm going to try, as you can see, I was lucky enough to get my teammate came, backed me up. I was lucky enough to get my self-revive kit off. And now I'm going to do that scummy thing that I talked about in the last video where I want to try to kill steal this because this guy went down and he's self-reviving too. Now, my plan was to let him finish reviving and then hit him once he stood up. But my teammate was like, nope, you're going down now. He confirmed his kill, which is what he's supposed to do. So good for him. And we are going to get another kill, and we're going to confirm that. Now, I did make a mistake there. I made it again. Did you catch it? Did you catch the mistake? We're going to watch it again, and I want you to see if you can see where I messed up here. The mistake that I made, and I actually made it twice. What color is that death box right there? What color is that? It's red. What are you supposed to do on those death boxes? Check them. There's a red gun on there. And 2 times I didn't even notice it. I got the kill from this person here, and I collected their orbs. And then look, the red box is sitting right in front of me, but I missed it. That's going to happen. You're not going to play perfectly, but just learn from my mistake. If you see a red death box and you do have a moment like this, check it. You can get a red gun, and that will give you an upgrade. But circles here, we're moving, and what are we doing? We're rotating in with the circle. We aren't gatekeeping right now. Gatekeeping is step 2. Step 1 is to rotate with the circle. Even taking some circle damage is okay. Don't be allergic to it. Don't be like, get off me, get off me. This is a great way to get some kills toward that 20 bomb. The second, once you'll die here, so you are relying on your teammates to be alive. You have to make that calculation, and you have to make that determination in the game. So you have to assess the risk and say, like, hey, okay, if I'm going to die here, will we be able to live? And I can look and I can see my teammate, my blue teammate, the fuse, he's flying in. Or I'm sorry, is it the fuse that's flying in? Yes, I think the fuse is flying in. Someone's going to be flying in, and it helps us with this rotation. So earlier in the video, I mentioned this is a very popular spot to fight. You can see here, I get a knock. This dude would have been another kill, but he got away. That guy got away too. Could have been another kill there. I get another knock. I couldn't prioritize the kills there because I wanted to keep getting more, but those 2 already tapped out, so I'm good. Probably the poor use of wall there, but yeah, that sucks. We both died here. So that is going to happen. We did get lucky. And one of our teammates was able to respawn. I know some critics are going to be like, well, this is why you don't deserve the 20 bomb, is because you just got lucky and your teammate was there. I have news for you. Getting a 20 bomb in Season 1 or in Season whatever we're in right now does require an ass ton of luck. You have to get lucky in traditional modes and also in Wildcard. It is not all completely up to you. So you can see here I have 2 more kills till we get to our 20 bomb, and there are 4 squads left. I'm feeling really good about that. This is when you start to play a little bit differently. This is when you start to communicate with your team, which was something that I had mentioned in the last video, where if you start to get close and you start to creep a little bit closer, talk with your team. Say something. If you don't want to use your microphone, you want to type it. Hey, look, dude, I'm 2 away. I need 2 more for a 20 bomb. Just chill for a second, and almost all players will be like, okay, no problem, let's get this done for you. So communicate with your team when it's necessary. You don't really have to communicate that much in this mode. There's too much chaos. There's too much crap that's going on. Communication is not a critical thing. I'm just saying, when you get close, tell other people so they can sit there and ping shit for you, or they can let you get kills and let you do the engagements, or they can just not engage at all. Like, I've seen that before, where they'll just be like, hey, he's down here, come and kill him, come and kill him. That's why you communicate. People actually have some good camaraderie in this mode. Okay, so I respawn. I know I got 2 kills left. I know there's players over here, so I'm going to start looking for my last 2 kills. I see my teammate is shooting this person in here. He has low health. I'm pushing this all day long. Now, I couldn't confirm that because of this, which is okay. But that guy taps out anyway. I'm 1 kill away. I should have shot this, but I thought I was just going to let it run its course. Now I'm looking for my last kill. Dude flew up and over. I saw him there, so now I'm going to go through and try to find him on this side. Kind of a moment where I was just like, I didn't think it was going to happen there. But we ended up getting the kill. We ended up getting the 20 bomb, and there's not really too much left in this game. So that is going to do it for the Containment 20 bomb. I hope you found the video helpful and useful. I showed you a lot of different places where you can go, where fights go, where the nooks and crannies are in that area, which other areas don't tend to have. Kind of showed you where to go if you don't get a gun. There's a lot of places in Containment where you can go if you don't get a gun on drop. Showed you some more strategy, and again, showing you the examples of rotating in with the storm, when to check death boxes, managing those self-revive kits, watching your teammates and seeing what they do. So there's a lot that I'm hoping that you were able to unpack from this video. In the next video, we're going to be going to Relic, and we're going to be getting a 20 bomb from that area. Just to preface that video, Relic is my least favorite place to go to, and we'll talk about it a little bit more once we get to the Relic video, but I do want to demonstrate a 20 bomb from each of the hot drop areas. We already did Cage. Containment was right here. Next up is Relic. Thanks very much for staying and watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.